All right, look, guys, look. I was literally gonna sit down this evening after the kids went to bed. I had notes. I took notes. My entire computer is just full. I can't show you. It's full of a notepad of notes on predictions for Kingdoms. And I can't even do that video now because it's not even called Kingdoms. It's not called Kingdoms. It's called Tales of Aria. And I love it. And I love it so much. I love it so much, not only because some of the predictions I was going to make, it looks like are going to be correct, but also because I like the place. Like, I like Aria itself. You know, and there's so much like stuff to say. I have so many things to say. Look, this paper, the more I prepared for this video, like this morning, this afternoon, I was going to record it this evening, the more I was like delving into the lore of the world, but particularly like I pulled out the lore book, I was looking in Aria, kind of getting ideas for what I was going to say, or like kind of rounding out the ideas, because we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, what we think Kingdoms would be like, and now a lot of the things that I was thinking are either slightly different or kind of close. Oh my god, I love it so much. Okay, so check this out. If you don't know anything about the region of Aria, the region of Aria is tucked away on the north, south, east, the east coast of Wraith. It is a very, very strange, very old land, a land where a long time ago the I don't know if it was the actual flow. So in Aria, the flow is this like primordial force that sweeps around the area. It like changes mountains into valleys. It turns like trees into other stuff. It makes weird things happen, okay? And at some point, either the flow itself, or, you know, these powerful spellcasters and like magicians, illusionists, that sort of thing, guardians, things like that, like they cast some spells and they put like a barrier, like force field over. They put it over the region so that no one can enter it. Or I guess it's very hard to enter it. Sometimes people do accidentally show up in Aria and they appear at the like foot of this world tree. It's all very Norse inspired. There's a lot of like cold areas. It's like everyone's happy and celebrating. There's lots of mead taverns, and it's very peaceful because it's separated from the world. Everything's fantastical. The girl from frickin'... Okay, this is part of what I was going to talk about. The girl on the illusionist cards, not Prism, of course, but on the actual illusionist cards. I forgot her name. I'm going to put a card on the screen in post. That girl, the one casting Enigma Chimera, and the one throwing spears on Spears of Surreality, she is dressed like she's from Eisen's Peak, which is like one of the colder, higher points high up on this mountain. Okay, look, I'm losing it, guys. This is so cool. All right, so this is Aria, and it's very lush. It's very effervescent. Everything's changing constantly, and this is where we're going in the next set, and I am so floored. It's amazing. If you were expecting something like Monarch, where they give us 2 regions, 2 talents, those are diametrically opposed, like I was actually expecting that. I thought they would keep that trend going. Then you're in for a treat, because we're getting an entire set focused on heroes. Well, at least it looks this way. It looks this way. It looks like we're getting an entire set focused on the heroes and the creatures and just the land of Aria, and that's going to make for some very, very cool cards. So let's talk about what heroes or what classes we might see in this set. And I mean, you look at the screen and the very first thing we see is a ranger, an archer, a bowwoman. That's not a thing. We see rangers. This was one of the predictions that I had. I had predicted that we would see 2 regions in Kingdoms. One of those regions would be Aria, and one of those regions I was going to predict would be Volcor. Though at the, like halfway through today, I had started to really kind of lean towards that we'd see the pits because of some very important lore things. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I'm trying not to forget everything I wanted to talk about in that video. So one of the things that I predicted Aria for is because one of the comments that was made in the James White interview is that Kingdom is a great draft set, and it's going to be very good for the downtrodden classes, or the classes that haven't received much support. Much beloved classes will be supported in this. And if that's the case, well, Ranger is on the top of that list. And if Ranger's on the top of that list and we see a Ranger holding a lightning bow, then we can check that. Boom, that prediction is correct. We're going to see some Ranger in in Tales of Aria. When I woke up, I wasn't thinking I was going to make this video at all. This is crazy. So obviously, if we're in Aria, this is the birthplace of the Guardian, and I'm not just saying that because, like in Welcome to Wraith, the Guardian Bravo is from Aria. No, this is actually the birthplace of the Guardian, which it's a folklore tradition kind of a thing. Like, hey, one day a Guardian will rise back up because, like, back in their history, they had someone rise up as these people rise up as the Guardians. And so the Guardian is probably going to be another class that we get. So we'll get a Guardian and a Ranger, which is great because Guardian only got cards in Welcome to Wraith. Ranger only got cards in Arc. What else would that leave? Well, Wizard is the reason I was predicting Volcor. Primarily is the reason I was predicting Volcor. It also fit in the whole Kingdom thing. There's also some great lore on the website about Wizard itself. I think we're going to see Wizard. And if we see Wizard, if we see Ranger, if we see Guardian, what's the fourth class? What's the fourth class? Well, why not more cards for Illusionist, right? Why not more cards for Illusionist? Because Illusionist was introduced. The card pool for Illusionist is only what you see in Monarch. And if you want to create a set all about Aria, and you want to introduce and support all of these cards and like card pools for the various classes that haven't had much support, and you're listing off those classes that haven't had much support, I mean, Prism has to be on that list, namely because she's literally a one-set hero that was just introduced and only has access to a handful of cards, class cards that is, period, end of story. So I'm predicting, and this is not that far down the line of predictions, I'm predicting we're going to get Ranger, Guardian, Wizard, and Illusionist. And to me, the weird thing in this is that we'll have a Guardian, which is generally a Go Tall class. We'll have a Guardian, or sorry, not a Guardian, a Prism Illusionist, that's the word I'm looking for. An Illusionist that's also a Go Tall class. We'll have a Ranger that's a Go Wide class. And we will have a Wizard that's an Arcane-based class, which is not dealing physical damage. So do all of those things come together to make a really fun sealed and draft experience? That's going to be the interesting question, because if you're thinking about if that's correct, it's still sort of me surmising. If that's correct, then you're looking at these matchups and you're going, and I'm doing this off the cuff, I haven't thought about this at all. You're looking at these matchups and you're going, if Guardian plays normally like Guardian does, that fares well against Illusionist. If Illusionist plays like we saw Illusionist does in Monarch, both of those classes would be good against Wizard, and then Go Wide might be good against others. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out, which you know, I'm excited to do. I'm excited to look at. By the way, we will know how this plays out because the release date's put on the article. And there you go, on the screen, September 24th. Also, we get a really cool blurb, which gives us a nice little hint as to what the talent will be, which we'll talk about next. The protectors of Eisenloft awake from their endless winter slumber. The wardens of Candlehold sharpen their thorns within the blossoming undergrowth. The prophets of Volthaven set their sights on a future painted by the great Aurora, which is referring to the flow. Tales of Aria is a standalone booster set designed for booster draft, sealed deck, and constructed play. Volthaven. We saw Volthaven, and if I click this picture off, we see a lightning bow. The talent is gonna be lightning. I'm not the first to predict this, but I think they're right. Anyone that said this to you, I think they're correct. The talent's going to be lightning, so that means we get a lightning ranger, a lightning guardian, a lightning wizard, which makes a ton of sense because we already have like chain lightning and like all the other lightning-ish cards that we have in wizard, and a lightning illusionist, which is really interesting because if it's a lightning illusionist, then there may be a completely different play style to illusionist that has something to do with lightning. Same thing with guardian. It may not just be about going tall. It may be about going tall with different on hit effects. It's going to be very interesting to see how the talent changes how we play certain things. Lightning ranger seems like a perfectly natural fit, a fit that I absolutely love. It looks, oh my god, that's going to be amazing. Lightning guardian makes me go, what does that actually mean? I'm curious. So this is where we are. Welcome to July 3rd, 2021. I have no freaking clue what is going on, and I'm loving it. I just want to say, before this video is over, I think it's hilarious, and I think it's really, really well planned. There's always something to talk about in the world of Flesh and Blood. I think this is absolute credit goes to Legend Story Studios for the way that they are managing sort of like press releases. I mean, this I don't think was released by them, but let's say this was released 5 days from now. I feel like there's always something to talk about with Flesh and Blood, and that goes a long way to keeping the game in people's, like, in the public perception and kind of trying to force them, like, insert themselves into the zeitgeist. And that is very, very smart. I think this has been handled so incredibly well going, like, through the beginning of the game to now. It's shocking to me how well LSS is pulling off just going about their business. I mean, kudos to them. It's absolutely amazing. Good on ya. And I am so excited for Tales of Aria, and I'm totally happy that they kept that name a secret, because if we knew it was called Tales of Aria like 6-7 months ago, we wouldn't have this video. We wouldn't have the excitement. If it was just called Kingdoms like Monarch, then we'd just be like, okay, cool, here comes Kingdoms. We have all these expectations. Now, instead of that, we have a little bit more understanding of what we're getting ourselves into, and I'm looking forward to it. So let me know what you think about this in a comment below. Let me know if you're excited about this. What do you want to see? Do you think we're going to get Ranger, Guardian, Illusionist, and Wizard? If not, do you think they're going to add another class? Do you think they're going to go with, like, Bard? Do you think they're going to go with, like, a Shaman? I'm very interested. I'm very intrigued. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.